host with the most. I do not brag or boast, and I'm in the dark. Coming from coast to coast, it's your boy, I'm Krista Don One. Welcome to another fabulous episode of Based on a True Story podcast. It's your host, your moderator. How y'all living? I'm living swell. Feel free to hit the subscription button, the notification bell, share this with your friend, family, as well as your followers. Let's get this channel lit in the YouTube algorithm. You hear me? You did. All right. Got all the lighting effects all in full effect. How y'all living? I'm living swell. Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? Let's do a quick microphone check. 1, 2, 1, 2. Microphone check. 1, 2, 1, 2. All right. See, we're not even on the right account. How you gonna check something, Chris, when you're not even on the... Oh yeah, we in full effect. We in full effect. How y'all doing? I'm living swell. So we're about to get into this real fast, real quick, based on a true story podcast. So let's just go ahead and get into the story time talk. Okay. So as y'all know, I used to work at Walmart. I used to work at Kroger. Shout out to Kroger, by the way. I have done several videos on Kroger. I even did a video on my, no longer working at Kroger. I no longer work at that location no more. So, basically, when I was working at Kroger, I like working the evening shift. Now, when you compare morning shift to graveyard shift wasn't a thing for me. I didn't mind working past like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, but I didn't want to do a full graveyard shift. And I like working the evening shift. Why? Because all all the managers are out of your way. The strict personnel is out of your way because they either work super early in the morning, so around 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, they gone for the day. All right. So just basically you and your coworkers and people that they assign to be in charge of certain departments. Normally, when they appoint these type of people, you don't get anybody that's real strict or trying to make a name for themselves. You do have few exceptions. Samuel is one of those exceptions. He's one of those type of individuals that do way too much, just doing way too much to try to impress these managers so he can become a store manager. His ultimate dream is to become a store manager. All right. It's not going to happen, but that's Samuel for you. Okay. We just let Samuel be. You dig what I'm saying? So we like evening shift is cool to work on evening shift. It's less stressful. You don't have to deal. And plus, when it's big, it's not super busy in the evening. Now you do have a rush from like 2 in the afternoon to like 6 at night. But then after 6 o'clock, it's cool, calm, and relaxing. It's not a huge rush. It's not a huge demand or anything like that. Which, I always say to myself, I don't know why shoppers don't shop after 6 p.m. Because to me, I say 6 to 8, maybe 9 p.m. That's a sweet spot. If you want to hurry up, if you don't want to be bothered by other shoppers and you want to, now, of course, you're not going to catch a lot of the deals because most of the deals, the popular deals, they be sold out about that time. But it's less stressful, you can get your shopping done from a customer perspective. But as an employee's perspective, I like working at that time frame. Okay. No rush, no worry. Okay. So we will have a lot of downtime. Now, occasionally when there is a closing manager, most of the closing managers, they just stay in their office. 9 times out of 10, most of our closing managers pretty much stay in the office. You might occasionally see them walking the floor. You might occasionally see them maybe open up a register. You might see them in click list. It depends on who came in. If someone called out, if not a lot of people called out, you probably won't see the closing manager in click list. But it does happen. So that's the only time you'll see the closing manager. And from a stalker perspective, I was a stalker. I would rarely see the managers. Okay. So that gave me a whole lot of free time. Sometimes I would sit, in the deli bakery in one of those little, they have these restaurant style chairs, and I would sit there and I would post stuff on social media. I would create videos. Sometimes I'll do my songs. I write my songs down or my skits or whatever. And, occasionally I'll do that. But the biggest thing I like doing is like going to the back dock, because the back dock, once you walk into the back dock, there's like a camera there, but the camera does not work. Now, quick sidebar before we get into this story. The reason why the camera don't work, because someone had a straddle stacker. And if you don't know what a straddle stacker is, a straddle stacker, if you've seen an electric power jack, that's pretty much what a straddle stacker is, except it can, level the product above your head, and you can stock things in higher shelves and things of that nature. Well, someone used a straddle stacker, was not very careful with it, and they jacked it up so high that it crushed the camera. So that camera does not work, and it hasn't been working for a while. All right, so that camera don't work. So when you walk into the back dock, and like in the manager's office, they can see everything because they got like a television, and the televisions are connected to the cameras, and they can just, they got this little joystick, and they can just go from room to room, see what's going on without them walking throughout the whole entire store. So when you walk into the back dock, you don't see, the camera doesn't see you. But when you go outside, there's like an outside door, and that door is mainly used for like the dumpsters and the recyclable bins, and all that ish is over there. What's up? Hey, how you doing? 3Trick King, how you doing? Welcome. This is my first time ever seeing you stop by to the live stream. How you living? I'm living super swell. Okay, so basically, like that's what's outside. And the truck drivers go out there as well. So, and thanks for the thumbs up. Thanks for the thumbs up, guys. I really do appreciate that. So, but there's a camera that's, when you go out that door, there's a camera right above. It's a motion sensor camera. And it doesn't trigger until you walk out the door. When there's any type of movement, it'll take like a 2-second, 3-second snap of whoever is by the door. It's not no long video. All right. So me and my friends figured out how to use that to our benefit. Like if we go outside, one of us will act like they're getting ready to go to the dumpster, and we'll just stand there, wait for it to take the video, and then the camera turns off, but the light stays on. Once it does that, the co-workers will all go out. Hold up. Can you say grenades 10 times as fast as you can? I'll do that a little bit later. If you stick around, I'll do that a little bit later. Okay. So basically, my friend, somebody will stand there, and then once the video snaps that footage, it's a wrap. Okay. So then now the other friend can come out, and we can go out there, we can smoke, we can shoot the breeze, whatever the case. All right. Now, this was a great spot. Everybody went back there, and, co-workers, leads, even assistant, even the closing manager. Like, I was cool with this other closing manager. He will occasionally close the store down, and he will be out there. He'll play Candy Crush and smoke cigars. And he wouldn't be tripping if I go out there. So, as long as I'm not bothering him, let him play Candy Crush, smoke his cigars, I can go out there and I can be on my phone, and, it's no big deal. And he likes being out there. So the one thing he did not like is people calling him to the front. So that's why before he even starts his shift, he'll figure out who's closing up front, and then let them know, like, hey, like, you're in charge. Don't really call me on those simple stuff. If it's something simple, just give it to them. All right. He was cool, relaxed. He didn't take being a manager strict, if you dig what I'm saying. So, like me and him, we'll be out there for hours, Um, he'll be in Candy Crush mode. I would be on the phone. In the beginning, that's how it was. But then after a while, me and him would have conversations. Like, I didn't even know he's from California. So he asked me one time, he said, "Hey Chris, you like listening to rap music?" And I look back at him going like, "Dude, look at me. Of course I like rap music. Why, Well, anyway, he just wanted to start a conversation because, he's from the West Coast and he's telling me all these rappers from the West Coast. And I knew a lot of those rappers. Now, of course, he's going to throw out The Game. He's going to throw out Kendrick Lamar. He's going to throw out all these rappers. But then he started naming rappers I don't even know about. Like, he said, these are like local rappers that, like the rest of the world don't know about, but in the West Coast, they know about these rappers. And he was just telling me, so I thought he was, bullishing me, bull jiving me. So when I went home, I Googled a lot of the names he gave me. And sure enough, these rappers do exist, but they're on the West Coast. And he was telling, and he will break down their bars, he'll break down their lyrics, and then he'll tell me, well, this rapper, like if you like Tyler, the Creator, Chris, you will like this rapper. Or if you're a fan of Kendrick, you will like that rapper. Okay. And I'm like, okay, cool. I didn't know. So we will be cool with that. All right. Now, everything was nice, cool, and steady. No ish was thrown in, no problems, no nothing. Till the store manager started closing the store down for a week. Now, the store manager is a little strict. Now, I should have known, hey, just get on regular mode, Chris. Avoid the back room. Okay. But the back room is kind of addicting. If you've been back there a couple of times, you're going to always continue to go to the back room, particularly if you got a slow down period. And, I didn't really work with the store manager as much because he would work in the mornings. And then when I come in the afternoon, I only see him for a couple of hours. And then he, I didn't have no connection with him. You dig what I'm saying? But I figured, hell, if he's anything like the assistant manager, then it should be no problem for me to go out there. I may not be able to go out there and spend 30 minutes, but I can at least go out there and, chill for like a minute or 2 minutes or 3 minutes or whatever. All right. So I went out there and I don't think I was out there no more than like probably 3 minutes at most. And then that's when the store manager, because like I said, the camera is a motion sensor camera, and it takes like a 2-second, 3-second video of whoever is back there. All right. I didn't even think much of it. So, I'm back there, just enjoying the view. I wasn't even on my phone. The next thing I know, the door opens and then the store manager comes out and he said, "Hey, what you doing out here?" And I'm going like, "Oh, I was just, I'm just making up some type of lame excuse, throwing some trash away or whatever." He said, "Well, I don't like it." He said, no, he didn't say I don't like it. He said, "Well, that's fine and all, but once you done doing what you're doing, you should come back into the store." All right. So he's on that type of time. So when he told me that, I'm like, cool. All right. I went back to my department. Now there's this dude by the name of Matt. I'm cool with Matt. Matt's like a white dude from I think he's from Maryland. Dude, cool. I like him. Cool white dude. All right. And he likes music. Like a lot of things that I like, he likes. Okay. So I was giving the 411 to Matt. I'm like, "Hey, Matt, the store manager, he caught me back there. So, I'm, giving the game out to everybody. Hey, don't go when the store manager is closing. Don't go back there." So I'm letting everybody know. Okay. They're like, I appreciate that, Chris. Appreciate that. All right. So I guess it escaped Matt's mind one day. And then Matt was out there. Now, when Matt goes out there, Matt goes out there. I mean, Matt he would spend like 5 or 6 hours out there if he could. If he could, he would. All right. So once again, sensor turns on the video, the camera does a records like a 2-3 second clip of whoever's back there. It alerts the store manager, and now the store manager, he goes to the back. All right. So he's up here, having a conversation with Matt, saying, hey man, if y'all on the clock, y'all shouldn't be out here. You understand what I'm saying? He said, I done caught several other employees coming out here. I don't want anybody to be out here, because I don't know how long y'all been out here. Even though the camera tells you, you can kind of estimate how long somebody's been back there. All right, especially when it alerts you somebody's back there, and then you just walk back there. All right. So Matt kind of felt a certain kind of way. You dig what I'm saying? He felt like he was being targeted. And then I was, once again, I told Matt, I said, yeah, he done caught me last week. And that's why I'm trying to tell y'all, be careful. Don't be when he's closing the store, don't even try to go out to the back. Go to the back room, all right? Unless there's a truck. So, Matt, he would always put the truck responsibilities on me because he didn't want to unload no trucks. I'm cool with unloading the truck. I put my music on. I'm unloading the trucks. Sometimes I'd be cool with the truck drivers. We'll have a little conversation, all right? So it's no big deal, all right? But when the store manager was closing, he said, hey, Chris, you don't mind if I, unload this truck? I'm like, all right, whatever. So he unloads the truck, and, he's carrying on a conversation with the truck driver. And, the truck driver, like, when you unload a truck, you got a certain amount of time to get whatever that's in the truck to that department, because you got to scan it in the trailer. Then once you scan it in the trailer, you take it off the trailer and you take it to the destination. Once you take it to wherever it has to go, you got to scan it again, because corporate is watching that. Like, they want to know, like, yes, we got the content, and then how long it took you to get that content from the truck, from the back room to where it belongs. All right. So now, we didn't know this, but it also alerts the manager. So I guess it's on their phone. So it'll alert the manager, like it'll send them a notification like, hey, the truck's here. Hey, so-and-so scanned the truck from the trailer. Hey, so-and-so scanned it again at the destination. So it gives you the time, date, all that shit. It even tells you who scanned the shit, all right? But then he kept wondering, well, why is it taking whoever's unloading the truck, why it's taking them so long? Why they're still back there? So he done his own investigation. He walks back there, come find out, Matt, he's chilling. He's laying on this he's laying on the power jack, talking to the not laying on it, but just leaning on it. And he was talking to the truck driver. So the store manager made up some excuse like, hey, leave the truck driver alone. I'm pretty sure he got other destinations to go to, this, that, and there. He's trying to pretty it up, but basically trying to say, it shouldn't take you all day to unload this truck. So, Matt say, hey man, what bug crawled up the store manager's ass? He's like, taking this stuff way too serious. So I'm telling him, like, he is a store manager. We can't do nothing about it because he's everybody's boss in this store. So I told him we just got to ride it out until he's no longer closing the store. So he did it for like a month. And then I talked to other managers, and they say every month, every year, a manager has to close the store a certain amount of times. So that way in the schedule rotation, the store, everybody can't have the same schedule. You have to be able to be available anytime to work mornings, to work evenings, to even work graveyard. All right. And that's why the store manager, it was his turn to, close the store. All right. So we just waited until it passed. And when it went back to regular scheduling programming to the other assistant managers, you know, everything was fine. Okay. But there was one night, and this is far from the manager situation. There was one night that I'm just minding my own business. You know what I'm saying? I'm out there shooting the breeze, shooting, chilling. I'm on my phone, I'm on my phone, I'm looking outside. It's a summer night. It's real warm out there, you know what I'm saying? So I saw a car go by. Like 9 times out of 10, you'll see trucks go by, delivery trucks. You'll see regular passenger cars go by. You don't be thinking much of it. I don't know why would somebody want to drive behind the store, but it is what it is. You dig what I'm saying? So I don't bother them. They don't bother me. The only time I do any type of commotion or talking to a truck driver if it's one of our delivery trucks. But if it's somebody else's delivery truck, I don't give a damn. I don't care. You ain't none of my business. I ain't the police, okay? I'm not top flight security. I'm not Craig and Day Day. You dig what I'm saying? So I'm out there chilling, and then I see this car. I'm assuming the person in the car saw me, okay? Because there's this big shining light above me, okay? It's not like I'm hiding in the shadows. You can see me a mile away. That's how bright the light is. So I'm assuming the person that drove by saw me standing outside, just chilling, all right? So this car pulls up, and like it drives past me. And as once it passed me, it stopped for a minute. All right. And over here on this side is like the wall to our store. Okay. And then there's like they don't know why they do. Okay. Then it's like a dumpster. It's like a green dumpster. All right. So there's the walls right here and the dumpster's right there. So the car pulls up, stops for a second, and then parks right in front of the dumpster. All right. I didn't think much of it. I'm thinking, okay, maybe, something something dropped on the car floorboard. Maybe, they're dumpster diving. It ain't none of my business. Okay. I'm not the police. If somebody wants to dumpster dive and they see me, I ain't gonna do nothing about it. What I'm gonna do? Call management for what? To ruin my evening? So now management gonna be out there and then tell them they can't park here, and then now we both got to go back into the store. You dig what I'm saying? So I'm not trying to get nothing started. I'm long as if they're not bothering me, I'm not bothering them. That's how I took it. All right. So yeah, the car parks right in front of the dumpster, and I can see the person in the car, the back of their head anyway. I can't see their face, but the back of their head, I can see the back of their head. All right. I see him, doing, look like he's talking to somebody. Well, when you look closer, there's somebody in the passenger seat. You dig what I'm saying? So all I see is these two big fat ass heads, paws. All right. I see this dude like this, and then I see another head over here. All right. They was looking, they just turned to the driver like they're talking and shit. But the driver, he's like looking around and shit. I'm like, okay, well, what's going on here? You dig what I'm saying? So the next thing I know, this head fell all the way down to the passenger seat. And all I kept seeing is an up and down type of situation. Like the driver is like, you can see him, falling back. He's like, he's got his head up like this. And then the person that was in the passenger seat, they go down, and all you see is this up and down type of thing. I can't make out what's going on. I can assume, this is what I assume, that he got some knowledge. The passenger got some knowledge. The passenger just got blessed, okay? Now, if you don't know what I'm saying, I can remember that old Ludacris song. I be getting some head. 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 So if you can't understand what I'm saying, if you know, you know. All right. So I'm assuming that the passenger is blessing the driver. All right. But like I said, I can't see no faces. I don't know. I know who's giving and who's receiving, but I don't know who's in the car. Okay. For all we know, it could be two guys, and I ain't got nothing against it. Okay. You like what you like. You dig what I'm saying? It could be two guys, it could be two girls, it could be a guy and a girl or a girl and a guy. I don't know. Okay. All I know is I see these two big head shadows. Okay. So, one of them is doing their business, all right, and the other one got their head cocked up to the to the ceiling, okay, and he didn't have a sunroof, so he's not looking at the stars and the moon. He's looking at this ceiling like he had a regular ceiling like I did. So I know there ain't nothing spectacular about this ceiling. You dig what I'm saying? So I started making my way down through there because now I'm getting curious. I'm going like, man, I don't mind seeing some real head in full effect. You dig what I'm saying? As long as there ain't no two guys, but you like what you like. So I'm creeping by the car. Now, my intuition, I'm thinking, okay, man, Chris, I don't think you should do this because what if you scare them and somebody's got a weapon, you get shot up and it's a wrap. You dig what I'm saying? Or dude starts turning on the car and run into the dumpster. Okay. So I said to myself, instead of being close, because I don't want them to think I'm robbing them. You dig what I'm saying? But I'm curious. You dig what I'm saying? So I walk like some distance between the car. You dig what I'm saying? So when I get to the driver's side of the window, I see this guy with his head just cocked up. Like he's looking at the sun, the moon, the stars. He's looking at heaven. He's looking at God. He's looking at Jesus Christ himself, even though it's not a sunroof. You dig what I'm saying? So he's got his head up, okay? Whoever is going back and forth is giving him the best head he have ever had in his life. Or maybe this is the first time he done had some head, okay? But after I keep looking closer, it's a female. I'm going, oh, thank God. Because, man, I hate to, interrupt two guys doing this ish, okay? So I'm thinking to myself, should you be a good Samaritan, Chris? Should you tell them, because obviously the guy that's getting his balls washed, you got to be the lookout person. You dig what I'm saying? So, look, if someone is giving you the best blessing of your life, you should at least do your due diligence to look around. Like you got to be the one that's looking around to make sure that y'all not getting busted by the police or somebody like myself watching you. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be the lookout person. Okay. You can't be lacking in this moment. Okay. They're doing their job to entertain your balls. At least you should use your eyeballs and be the lookout person. You dig what I'm saying? Well, this dude got his head cocked up. He's not even looking at nothing. He just, I guess he done fell in love or whatever. All right. So I'm so far away from the car. I got this incredible reach. So I start tapping the window. And when I tapped the window the first time, the dude that had his head cocked back, he went, oh, he got scared. And when he did that, oh, the girl just came up and she got scared. She had that old face, like not no, oh my God, like I just got through wrapping my whole mouth on his shaft and his balls, okay? And she's trying to wipe it off and shit. So I'm going like, I'm just letting them know, like, hey man, they got a camera. I ain't trying to mess nothing up over here. I'm just letting you know they got like a camera. And if y'all, stay here, they're gonna start investigating. You dig what I'm saying? I said sometimes the police come around here too. So dude said, okay, yeah, good looking out. He good looking out. Well, the girl, she's trying to talk to me. It's like this. Women, they respond to things emotionally with their feelings. And guys respond to things logically. I think me and the guy know that. I know you getting blessed. I'm not trying to interrupt nothing. I'm just giving you the skimmy, like, hey man, I wouldn't want to be back here long enough because sometimes security comes back here, sometimes the police come back here. I'm trying to look out for you. You dig what I'm saying? So, he said he appreciated that, and I was going to keep it moving. I was just going to go back into the store. She's stopping me, trying to explain herself, and like, oh, this is my boyfriend, and I don't normally do this type of stuff, not outside. She's up here making up. I appreciate the story, but I feel like there was no story needed. I knew what was going on, but I didn't have to know every single detail of what's going on. You dig what I'm saying? So I'm trying to, go like, oh, okay, well, I'm trying to let her know, well, okay, that's cool. Well, I'm gonna go hop on back into the store. I'm just, just letting y'all know what's up. She's trying to explain herself. So, you're in a conversation that you really don't want to be in this conversation. I don't want to be in this conversation. The guy, he's already embarrassed. He don't want to be in this conversation. And she definitely don't want to be in the conversation, but she wants to explain why they back here. Okay? So I just gave her a minute after she got done talking. I said, okay, I appreciate that. And then I told him, well, I couldn't think of anything. I said, well, good night. Okay? So, and then that's when I went back into the store. So that's one of the interesting things that happened when I used to work at Kroger. I felt like I should share that to you guys. Well, guys, I gotta get up out of here. I got to go. You dig what I'm saying? Can you say, after thinking about it, I'm going to skip it, dog. I'm going to skip it. I don't think that's a good word to say 10 times on a live stream, okay? But anyway, it's your boy. How y'all? I hope y'all have a good night and rest. Have a wonderful Monday morning. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Same bad time, same bad channel. I'm gone. Deuces, guys.